It's a chilly day here in Fresno in mid-December. An excellent day to show you how to encourage health and growth on trees by pruning them when they're dormant, right up until early spring. We're going to specifically show you step by step how to prune a Japanese maple. I'm John Valentino, president of John and Bob's. I'm a landscape architect and a landscape contractor. I'm here with Chip Valentino, who's also a landscape contractor. He helps on all our projects. I'm going to start with talking about thinning and heading back as the first step to properly pruning a Japanese maple. So the timing today is good if you have a Japanese maple that you want to grow more. And you'll see this small one that we have in a 24-inch box. We want it to grow more. So we will prune it now in mid-December when it's dormant or just beginning to be dormant. We haven't had a lot of cold weather, so it's just entering its dormancy. If it was a big Japanese maple that we're always trying to control the growth, I would wait and prune it in the spring after it puts on all its leaves, because those leaves conduct photosynthesis and allow that tree to get even bigger. So we would trick it by, as soon as it puts on all its new growth, we cut all that new growth off. And that's an excellent way to control size on any tree or any plant. You know, when I drive around town, I see a lot of trees that are just pruned terribly. A lot of times I grab at my heart because I don't think I'm going to make it through when you see a heading back cut. And a heading back cut is when you cut a branch in half, or I'm sure you've seen it on many trees where you just go and cut all the branches in half. I don't see that so much on Japanese maples because I think maybe there's a little higher level of sensitivity to know that is improper, but it's improper on almost every tree to do those heading back cuts. So a thinning cut is when we take the entire branch off. We go back to where it starts and we cut it off. And so what we're left with is a tree that looks the same, just has fewer branches. You can see through it, you can see the structure of the tree. The key to that and the beauty of that in a Japanese maple is these thinning cuts. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to make sure we're clear on is what's a heading back cut and what's a thinning cut. So heading back is if we take this branch, I know I'm going to remove this branch because it's a crossing branch, so I'll show you what an improper cut would be on a Japanese maple, and really on most trees this is an improper cut. So this would be a heading back cut where we take this branch and we just cut it right in the middle with no regard to where it emanates and no regard to any buds or anything. So that's a heading back cut. A thinning cut is if we take this same branch and we go back to where it starts and we cut it right at where it starts, and that's a thinning cut. So essentially a thinning cut is removing entire branches back at where they emanate on a larger branch. The other thing that brings up is the way I did that preliminary cut is very helpful on larger trees, not so pertinent in this tree, but a lot of times branches are heavy. And if you try to go right in and do a thinning cut, because it's so heavy, it'll start to tear, and it'll tear some of the important parts of the trunk and the bark of the trunk and make a very bad cut. We want clean, precise cuts that heal very easily. One thing that comes to mind is don't put anything on the cuts, none of the black garbage or anything like that. These heal best by making nice, clean cuts with sharp instruments, and they'll heal themselves. So if your branch is heavy, that's actually a good technique to cut it like I did in half, where you take a lot of the weight off and then make the final cut where you just have a little stub of the branch left, and that makes for a very good clean cut. So there's a few simple rules that will help you immensely if you keep them in mind. Then you don't have to keep a whole lot of things in mind. And one of the rules that will serve you well is to remove crossing branches. So especially on a young tree, a lot of times you'll see branches going in every direction and crossing each other. Whenever you see that, You want to do a thinning cut to remove that entire branch. We want to do away with crossing branches. So this is a crossing branch. You can see it starts at the main trunk and crosses this fairly substantial branch. I'm going to take that off entirely. Again, if it was really big, I could cut it first like this to take all the weight off, and then I cut it right there, and I've removed that crossing branch. And there's quite a few crossing branches in here. In some cases, we can find one that is beginning to cross like this one, and we can pick a bud that would go a different direction if we want to leave the branch. Because when it's young, you don't want to take everything off. So you want to leave a good amount so it'll have a good amount of leaves, which feeds itself in the spring. Very similarly, we want to do away with branches that are too close together, because if they're too close together on the trunk, they'll all kind of grow together, and they'll make it so you might have weak attachments there because the branches are so close. And so we want to spread them out so they can have firm attachments. Any tree, and very much so Japanese maples, we want to open the center a little bit. And so we will take more branches out from right in the middle of the tree, and we'll do that again with thinning cuts, not heading back cuts. So we'll look in the center, and anything, particularly if the branch is pointing towards the center, we'll take quite a few of those out. So I'm going to open the center, and that isn't really a literal thing that we do, but we keep that in mind, that that's our goal. We want to open the center a little, let in light, allow wind to go through the tree, and also with the Japanese maple, that allows the structure to be seen much better. So I'll take this one off. These are all thinning cuts, and we're going to open the center. And there's a lot of small branches we can take off. And if they're real small branches, you can just break it off. This is a good one where we're going to open up the center. This goes across it. So transplanting Japanese maples is pretty doable, and so we would take all of these principles that I'm describing to you and we amplify them. So we thin even more than usual, because when we dig this Japanese maple out and it's over 100 degrees, all of those roots are supplying water to the leaves on the Japanese maple. Now, because we dug it out in the summer, we've got a lot less roots. We need to compensate for that loss of roots with a lot less leaves. And the way to do that, again, is lots of thinning back cuts. When we did this tree, it really looked terrible for the first month or so, because that's quite a shock, and we don't recommend moving a Japanese maple in the summer. But this was on a construction site where they essentially wanted to get rid of the tree. Instead of getting rid of the tree, we dug it up on a hot summer day. We thinned it very extensively, and then we put it in a box, and it's doing great. But you can see that it's thinned more than you would normally want to thin a tree. Now in the spring, it's going to sprout and grow like crazy and be really a nice Japanese maple. Last week I made pizza, and we put that on a short video. If you'd like to check that video out, we use my special oregano that we grow with John and Bob's in my front yard garden. You can check it out right up here. And also, we asked you to provide us with your favorite recipe for using fresh or dried herbs. The winner of the free bag of blend is... So I'm a big believer that plants improve our lives. We'd like to ask you, what's your favorite plant in your garden and why? How does it improve your life? As usual, leave your answer in the comments. We'll be announcing the winner in next week's video, so be sure to tune in. pruning during dormancy is important and quite an opportunity. And along those same lines, we did a video in preparing your soil and your garden for springtime. Check out that video.